Hello, good morning. Welcome to CMFX Pro. We're going to show the conditions of our indicator up against the market before New York session. Please stop and read. By continuing, you are accepting these terms. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Every time I'm going to do one of these pre-sessions, I'm going to do different time frames or whatnot so you can kind of see the potential in different sets of time frames. So today I'm going to be working off the M5. I'll do another video right at New York session just to see where these conditions take off. So let's get started with seeing what's going on against our indicator. Let's start right off with USD Chef. We did have some high exhaustion right against the 800 on the 5-minute. Now micro time frame trading, M1, M5, all the conditions apply. 800 is a strong time moving average or EMA on M5 just as it is anywhere else. So look at how immediate that high exhaustion was spotted in this situation, immediate drop. Okay, so right now it is in a continuation of the downtrend. We had a high exhaustion here on the 800, nice drop. So really simple. Okay. GU, it had pretty much ID 50 recognition. It was high out of Asia session, came right down. This is the ID 50, the finger pointing down, which means the gap. This is the center of the gap, which means the actual 13 is exhausted, and it comes back down to touch the blueberry again. Here's it leaving. This is returning, and it's back to the 800. Really simple, guys. And now here's the exhaustion of the 13 coming down from this level here. Okay, and now it's rising right here. EU, really simple, almost to the 800, but it actually had the exhaustion with the finger right here. 13's exhausted, exhaustion's right here, your safety entry's right here, takes off. So how simple this indicator was created, guys. UJ, again, right here below the 800, you got two fingers, really strong conditions, takes off, hits the 200, and we'll look to see the retest of the 800 again to see if it follows through. Now, actual trend is down off of this high exhaustion. Okay, so you always stay with the trend. Trend is your friend. This was your high exhaustion. Price has been going down, down. All these hits to the 200 confirm that. All right, US CAD. We had a previous high exhaustion established on Thursday. It came to low exhaustion of Friday. The Asia session, it met up with the low exhaustion on Friday and really just took off from there. Nice 50 pips or so. Actually, nice 65 pips to be exact. 60 something pips right out of Asia session. Off of this low exhaustion, you have a double ID safety condition right at the exhaustion. This is confirming direction right here to go up. These are counter trade, counter trend conditions when you see the arrows going down for the most part, because there's no real wide gaps. So price isn't going to drastically just drop. It's just retesting on the 200. Okay, and you had this nice 4 or 5 dot of exhaustion. Even if you got in here, you know, 30, 55. We'll see how this drops. It's dropping quite nicely right now. Okay, AU, again, high exhaustion as of Friday. Thursday had this nice low exhaustion. Took it right to the high of Friday. Really simple, guys. This was the high exhaustion ranging for the past couple days of last week. Finally broke down. Kept retesting on this 200. It finally got below the 200 and just made a nice clean drop. This was the false move, dropping the traders really quick, and it just broke down from there. This is all the counter trend condition. as the gap widens between the 13 and the 50 EMA, and brought it back to, and then dropped, and then it came up against the 50 EMA again, no exhaustion. Here's your safety entry, and it took off from there. Now here's your counter trend conditions on the gap of exhaustion of the 13 EMA, bringing it back to the 50, and then again right here dropped. It met Friday's high coming out of Asia session and came down nicely, sitting up against the 800 and between the 200. Euro Great Britain had a high exhaustion of Friday, rose a little bit above that high exhaustion and came down really nicely. Low exhaustion now, and that's just ranging around the 200. EA had a high exhaustion Thursday, really came down nicely against the 800. Okay, just ranging around the 200 right now. Eurochef had high exhaustion as of Friday. It met that high exhaustion and did a nice drop from this point here. EJ, very clean. It hit the monthly range high on Friday, and it went above that conditions for the stop hunt and the exhaustion right at the monthly high level. It did the stop hunt and did a nice drop. 2960. Really? Wow. It's almost 100 pips. Oh, 2879, about 80 something pips just from there to London session right here. Really nice. Nice and clean. Exhaustion, exhaustion. Can't get any easier than that. Here's a safety entry. And we're already up 2880. Almost 20 pips or more. Almost 30 pips already from this exhaustion. So there's 60 or 70 so pips. Another 20 or 30 so pips. There's 100 pips and movement just on the exhaustion. Really simple, guys. Great Britain Chef, low exhaustion Friday. Came back down and almost retested the same condition low of exhaustion. Came up against the 800. Simple, clean exhaustion. A double hit on the ID50, or 50-50 bounce, I mean. And now it's on the rise. Great Britain Chef. Just keep in mind that your overall trend is down. Okay, you had this very high exhaustion, 1, 2, 3 hits. All right, it did a double top hit condition on M5, and it meant that it dropped. You take your profit here, goes back in line. You got your 2 fingers right here. You get in somewhere around here. Again, take profit. Go back up to the well, we got this condition right here. You'd have to break this area down to the 1 minute. This is just another trap. You always could have re-entered right here too. But even if you took it from here, 126.23, that's almost 40 something pips right there. Because I would have re-entered right here, low exhaustion. It went back against us a little bit. Re-enter the market, take it out to this area right here. Even if it take your profit to the next EMA, which is normally very typical. So even if you got in here, 126.20, 126.42, it's about 20 pips. Anyway, catch up. Had this finger right here for gap of exhaustion of 13 EMA, bringing it back to the 50. Really price kind of just rose, stop hunt above that level. Nice exhaustion right here. Dropped, range, dropped. Real simple. Nice pips, nice quick pips right there. Same with DJ. DJ came close to Friday's high, did a nice drop, re-hit the 50, and nice rise again. Some nice ranging pips right there. Aussie New Zealand. We kind of had the low exhaustion here Thursday. All these hits to the bottom, it finally broke out. You got this finger here, I would have got out. These fingers are kind of exhaustion of the gap of the EMA. That's what these fingers mean. Then you have the low exhaustion of the levels, and then when you get into higher time frames, you'll see the exhaustion of the actual peaks. Okay, so we got this low exhaustion again. This is just ranging very tightly. It is locked above the 800, so we'll see if this takes off from there. Odd CAD. We had the high exhaustion Friday. It didn't even really come up to meet it yet, and just dropped from there. This low exhaustion as of Thursday, it rose quite nicely to the Friday high. Odd Chef, really nice low exhaustion Thursday and Friday Asia session area. You can see all the nice exhaustion in the safety entries. That's a pretty strong. All these fingers pointing up. You got three ID safety area entries. That's amazing conditions right here with the exhaustion. And obviously it's almost up to the monthly range low hit, and it just came in and just went out. Nice rise to the high exhaustion, and this high exhaustion range dropped, low exhaustion safety enter, and it looks like it's going to continue to rise a little bit. Have to see how it holds up on this 800. The 200 is locked above the 800, so we'll have to see how this holds out. Odd Jap, simple. Met Friday's high exhaustion. There's your ID 50 gap of the 13 EMA, over exhausted. There's your exhaustion. Double top hit, multi-session. Matched up to the Friday high. You got your exhaustion, drop. Look at this low exhaustion, your counter trend. And this was your actual take. So even if you get in on some of these exhaustions, or everywhere they are, especially on the 5 minute, I mean, if you got in right here, 80.74, that's 20 pips, 18 pips, easy. Real simple. This area here, it rose from this exhaustion. Even this area here, you had high exhaustion built up, you did a small drop. This is exhaustion, small drop. Just make sure, obviously, you know the 50 crosses the 200, so you want to re-enter in these low spot areas. Break it down to the 1 minute time frame, you'll see these areas be exhausted as well. This is how simple this indicator was meant to be created, and why I continue to be persistent in following along the data that I was collecting, and to make it as powerful as it is. I'm still amazed to this day. It's been 3 months or so since I've finished creating it. We still tweak at it every now and then to even get better conditions. But really the main principle of why it was created and the data I use is pretty much spot on conditions. Okay, Chef Jap had this high exhaustion, met the Friday's high exhaustion, I should say, out of Asia session. Nice drop. Hit the 800, safety entry, finger point up, boom, raises. All these conditions. Euro New Zealand. We had this high exhaustion Thursday. It really just kind of ranged and kept hitting this area, broke above it a little bit. Now we're matching the area of right here, just ranging really tightly around the 200. EuroCAD, nice conditions. We had this high trapping exhaustion, we had this low exhaustion Wednesday, really broke out everything, the 50 cross 200 on the 5 minute. And we have all these situations here. We have this nice finger up here. You can barely see it, but it's there. And this low exhaustion on the 800 hit. Obviously strong EMA hit. Safety entry right here. And that really took you out 1.5100. Almost 70 something pips. Right there. Low exhaustion, 800 hit. ID safety entry, 70 pips, off the 5 minute time frame. Quite incredible. Okay, let's see. So we had all these hits. This is the low of Thursday. We had all these hits hitting the bottom. Okay, really trapping nicely. We had this high exhaustion up to the 800 hit. Nice drop to this low exhaustion. Nice profit to take. All these fingers. Okay, then we get taken off here. We got green, 2 fingers right here after the red. Finally it takes off. We get all these hits. We're at low exhaustion now. It rose immediately from the gap exhaustion of the 13 EMA. Once again, just explain that this indicator is based off market maker method principles in line with price action and EMA exhaustion, which means price will exhaust first before the EMA is exhausted to turn. Before every EMA must turn, price must be ready to bring the curve and bring the exhaustion of the EMA first. Obviously, if this is going up, you need to see exhaustion back here, and really that's what the data is created off of price action exhaustion in line with EMA exhaustion, and it pretty much favors also the principles of market maker method. Excuse me. New Zealand JAP. Okay, we broke the exhaustion high Friday by 43, maybe 15 pips. Basically, your stop hunt high out of Asia session and nice drop. There's some nice pips right there. 74.55 to 74.11. New Zealand USD. We had met the high exhaustion of Friday conditions. Typical market maker move. False week beginning. Obviously, they came down. They went back up and they met almost a double top hit on the M5 with a matchup of the exhaustion high exhaustion on Friday, and a nice drop from there. GA. We got some rise. This was Friday's low. Okay. And really just made a couple hits out of Asia session, matched up with Friday's low exhaustion, and really just took off from there really cleanly. So if you went in on holding this Friday, okay, 175.20, somewhere around there, that's 50 pips right there. If you held on this low exhaustion right here, you got the fingers, you got the ID safety representation. Notice how this shows, but there's no symbol after this exhaustion. You don't take it. You know, there's no exhaustion here. Why'd you take that? That's just telling you it's going to be a pullback in line with, or counter trend pullback from trend. Obviously, that's an M on the 50, kind of a peak scenario. Why would you go against the peak? This is your exhaustion, your gap. You got 2 fingers showing strongly about the gap of the 13 from the 50. It's exhausted. You got your ID safety entry over here. Your confluence has been met. Touch to the water. Drop. False week beginning. And it just takes off from there for an easy 50 pips. GC. Same situation. Matched up with Friday's low exhaustion. And just took off 67.18. Another 50. Well, okay, that's about 60 pips. 60 pips there. New Zealand CAD pretty much had all these hits to the high, kept trapping on the 50. 50 has crossed, and 200 has crossed 800. That's a pretty strong condition change there off of this double finger. Low exhaustion, this was just a counter trend trap, and we basically met off that. Almost came up to the high right here of Friday, and low exhaustion, it just broke right out again. We don't need to show that one. Great Britain, New Zealand. Same thing, came to match Friday's low exhaustion. Really took off nicely off of those levels, right at the levels of the Friday low. 191.86 to 92.58. Nice pips right there. Okay, let's get back to the USD shift. Looks like it's continuing to drop still a little bit. EU, it's kind of ranging around 200. Okay, that's what the conditions are currently with our indicator up against the market. We'll be back at open session of New York to show the conditions. Hope everybody has a great trading day. All right, have a good day.